Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm bringing you a review for the new Transformers Alternate Universe Optimus Prime. You notice I didn't give a toy line there because, frankly, I don't know what toy line it's supposed to be in. It's not listed on the box or anything. Ostensibly, it is an Earthrise toy because this is a black retool of the Earthrise Optimus Prime, and this is meant to represent the character when he dies in the 1986 movie. So, a bit of a morbid choice, but with the anniversary of the movie, specifically the 35th anniversary coming up next year, I guess they decided this was the appropriate time to release this. So, as you can see, the packaging we have is a special edition packaging. This comes to us from Amazon, which is the exclusive supplier of this toy, at least here in the States. And yeah, it's just a bit of a crazy package we have here. So if you're familiar with my reviews, you know how this goes. We're going to take a look at the packaging, then we'll open it up. We'll see the toy's instructions, and then we'll look at Optimus in both his vehicle and robot modes. Naturally, I'll be doing some comparisons with the regular Earthrise Optimus, and then at the end of the video, I'll give my final thoughts. So here's the aforementioned special packaging, and it's done up to resemble Optimus Prime's torso. So you can see, the windshield chest, the grill labs, all that. And you can see a reflection of his onlookers, Ultra Magnus, Hot Rod, and RC, that are, looking down at him as he lies on the slab dying. On the top, you get kind of the top portion of his chest with the little overhead lights there. You got his name again. You get his shoulders on the sides with smokestacks. And then the back is made to look like, well, his back. And you can see all this cracked and chipped detailing that is supposed to show you just what kind of shape this guy's in. Oh, heck, the bottom even has his little torso area, or pelvic area, I mean. So that's cool. This box opens up from the front. It's got two little doors. Whoops. So that you can have your Optimus fall out like that. So here's the toy. Doing the splits just like the regular Earthrise Prime. We'll get a closer look at him shortly. Look in here, and you have the instructions. And let's see, is there any kind of branding on here? Or is it just Transformers? I think it's just Transformers. Yeah, that's it. There is no subline attached other than Generations itself. But you can see instructions are just your normal Optimus Prime instructions. They don't even have the alternate tooling for the head. So I wouldn't expect anything different here. Shows you how everything works, as far as this trailer, how the parts can interact and attach, and all that fun stuff. How his matrix works. So, same thing that the original Earthrise Prime has. Alright, now here's Optimus's truck mode, complete with the trailer. And the trailer, as well as his upper legs and probably some other parts of him, they're casting this really interesting, almost like a sandy gray. It's like a hint of brown to it, which is odd. Kind of reminds me of stone in a way. And then the rest of him is done up in a dark, more neutral gray. A lot of really dark black on there, which looks nice. Some silver. Silver on the gas tanks again. A lot on the grill. You can see the windshield, while still transparent, now has like a brownish gray tint to it instead of the blue. Then interestingly, his ion blaster is done up in silver instead of, something close to black or dark gray. So that was kind of unexpected. Thought it would be a dark color, but they painted it silver. Cool looking though. I like it. As far as tolerances and everything, everything is still fine on this version. It all rolls very well. Trailer plugs in nice and firmly. The wheels roll. No issues. I like it. And overall, it looks like you're watching Optimus Prime drive by on a black and white TV. That's really what it looks like, an old monochrome television. Now here he is with the standard version of Earthrise Optimus. You can see there's no molding differences between them. This is just a straight palette swap. But it looks cool. The whole idea is that it's the same character, just drained of life, which apparently gives the surfaces color. Don't ask me how that works, but, you know, in 1986, they decided that's how it goes. It is interesting that his trailer becomes kind of dull and lifeless, too. Now, in the case of, say, Roller, which is considered to be a part of Optimus, I can see that turning gray or black or something. The trailer, I never thought was supposed to be an actual part of him, but maybe it is. Maybe he does share some sort of physiological connection with the trailer itself. That, or they just, wanted an excuse to paint the trailer a different color. Still looks good. Naturally, these two trucks are compatible with each other's trailers if you do want to kind of swap them around and have some fun. Let's do that just for kicks. So that's what that would look like. If you want to get a little crazy with it. Or maybe you just want to use this trailer for the dead Optimus since you think it doesn't make sense for his trailer to turn gray. Up to you. Another interesting thing to point out, it is just revealed today, as I'm recording this, that there's going to be a Netflix Optimus Prime that surprisingly is not going to be the Siege version. It is actually going to be a minor redeco of this Earthrise Optimus, sans the trailer. So it'll give you yet another option for something to connect a trailer to. You might decide that's your definitive Optimus, because he does have a little bit of extra paint apps on him. So just something to keep in mind that is coming down the pike. Now for the cool part, here is Dead Optimus's robot mode. And this is where all the differences really shine. So overall, same toy. The biggest differences are obviously the head, which as you saw was remolded to reflect the battle damage that he sustained in the 86 movie. So antennae are just all beaten up. Kind of looks like if a dog just got a hold of your Optimus Prime and chewed it up. They also give him these cracks along his faceplate, which is cool. And they gave him the big gash from, the fatal blow he sustained at Megatron's hands. So that's neat. Now, I am really disappointed that they didn't give him any further battle damage paint apps. Because, if you saw the movie, Optimus was way more banged up looking than this. Really surprised they didn't do cracks on the windshields. The detail was even shown on his, his box art there, the cracked windshield, but they didn't do it for the toy, which I find disappointing. But what can you do? Now, when it comes to tolerances, everything works the way it should. I don't have any looseness or anything overly tight. Feels just like the regular Optimus, so that's good. Now, of course, being Optimus Prime, he has his Matrix. And unlike, it fell out. Unlike the rest of them, this isn't drained of color, which makes sense, right? Because the Matrix didn't die with him. Just accidentally basically quoted the movie. So I am really happy they kept that little detail there and just kept it colored. The only thing that is weird is that his Matrix chamber is done up in this bronzish, metallic color, which doesn't make much sense to me. I guess it helps it stand out, but why you would color that when he's supposed to be lifeless, I don't know. Weird choice. I think it would have been better just leaving that silver like the rest of the innards there. But it is what it is. Naturally, he can, hold his Matrix like the regular version can if you want him to. And overall, just looks really cool. And because this is removable, you can now reenact his death scene with him, passing the torch to Ultra Magnus. Here's standard Optimus, and brought him in at this point just to compare the matrices. Now, one thing that isn't incredibly obvious, there is a difference between how these are done up. I think the silver and bronzish color are the same. Bronze might be a little different on him. But on this Optimus, the actual crystal part, the core of the Matrix, is just transparent blue. Here it's actually painted blue. It's painted over for some reason. I don't know why they opted for that route. And oddly enough, regular Optimus, his Matrix chamber is the same kind of dark silver that the rest of him is. So I really don't know why they went out of their way to paint the inside of his chest bronze like that. Doesn't make a lot of sense unless they were just kind of trying to reenact the glow coming from his chest when he opens the Matrix, though that would have been blue, so I don't know. Choices were made, not all of them make sense. Here, let's look at differences in paint. I did notice that this bottom part of the pelvis is left unpainted, unlike on the regular Optimus. It does have the stripes painted though, so that's good. His inner legs here look to be painted black. Pretty sure they are because of how shiny they are. Which I guess normally they'd be, I don't know, maybe the same color as his upper legs or something. So they actually did go out of the way to paint the back of the legs, unlike on this version, which a lot of people really didn't like. A lot of people were unhappy that a very big chunk of his lower legs are gray like that. And that Matrix is really loose on this guy. Really weird, because my regular Optimus is actually kind of a pain to get out. Alright. Let's see. Oh, and his hands might be painted too. They are very glossy too, so I think the hands are also painted. Either that or they used a new plastic here, and it's a very shiny plastic. I can't really tell, because I don't see any bigger plastic underneath that black coating. So yeah, these guys look really cool together. Button them up here, so don't keep having matrices fall out. I really love the silver ion blaster there. I mean, it's not accurate, though. It's not like we didn't see it when he died, but I doubt it would turn silver. But it does look cool just as a weapon. Probably a fun accessory to give some of your other guys to make them look neat. So yeah, this guy does a really good job of just looking like a dead version of this figure. Right now we've got to look at his repair bay, the inside of his trailer, and it's very plain. There's just black plastic down the middle, and then brownish gray everywhere else. So nothing too fancy there. Yeah. His diagnostic drone works just like the other one, or repair drone, whatever you want to call it. Articulates here and here. It's got the little arms. Now, one problem though, on my copy at least, when you bring it up here, it won't stay up. It's too loose. It just flops right down. So that is a big downer. Now if you bring it up to the point where it kind of pops up, it'll stay, but now it's not exactly flat. So that bugs me a bit. Can't say I'm a fan of the way that worked out. So now if we look over at the regular version, it has no problem staying up. It just has enough friction to maintain itself. So that's a shame. One thing I will point out, minor nitpick, and you may not even be able to see it on the camera, the regular one actually leans forward a little bit more than this one. The alternate universe version stands upright much better. This one just has a slight lean to it, and maybe it's just from keeping it displayed this long. Maybe it's become a little bit warped from its own weight, possibly. Who knows? Now naturally you can lay this thing down if you want to, flip it down and bring it up, and it becomes more of a medical repair area, where Optimus is lying down. And also very effectively doubles as his deathbed if you want it to. I mean, it doesn't look like the slab he was lying on, but it is a slab of some sort. So it's doable if you want to go that route. Oh yeah, almost forgot. It's got the little stand too to keep it. Right, there you go. So, functionally it's the same as the other one. It's got your little airlock connection, so this could become part of a larger base if you want it to, and fix micromasters. Same stuff. Now, something that is a little more forgivable on this version is the fact that this diagnostic drone or repair drone it's not painted at all, right? It's just gray plastic, which kind of works in this case because it's supposed to be lifeless, right? Lacking color. But man, that was one of the biggest criticisms of the regular Optimus, the fact that this was not painted at all. The windshield wasn't painted, it wasn't given the blue coloring. So, the problem didn't get better. I guess it just became less of a problem in the right context. At least that's how I look at it. Maybe I'm being too forgiving now. They really should have painted these. And of course, just like the regular Optimus, the repair drone and airlock connector can be removed to form a back-mounted weapon or tool array and a shield for him. So, obviously maintains that functionality. In fact, this configuration was used for the stock imagery on Amazon's website, so, I've seen a lot of this as I've been checking every day to see when this guy would ship. But it is cool. It's a really nice play feature that they introduced for this mold that kind of makes up for the lack of, more classic play features. Kind of just swapping it out for something different, so I dig it. I like it. Now, in case you weren't traumatized enough by this experience, allow me to have some fun with you. So, probably the best thing about this toy is the fact that you can now recreate Optimus Prime's iconic death, which obviously is what I've done here. So if you've always dreamed of reliving the moment that sent kids running out of theaters screaming and locking themselves in closets for weeks, seeking therapy and having their hero die in front of them, I'm fine. Ugh, I'm fine. I'm good. So, yeah, you can now do that with this toy. So I hope everyone's enjoyed this look at the new alternate universe Optimus Prime. Oddly named as he is. I mean, a lot of people, when they saw the leaked listing, assumed it was going to be like a RID Optimus or Armada Optimus, and we ended up getting, dead G1 Optimus. But the supposed idea is that this guy's going to be kind of the link between the events of War for Seibertron, which is an altered G1 continuity, and then the original actual G1 continuity that included the movie. And, if rumors are to be believed, which, let's face it, they usually are pretty accurate. Studio series, at least starting next year, is going to revolve around the 1986 animated movie. Have a lot of toys that coincide with that. So it looks like there's going to be some kind of craziness going on here with, possible intersecting timelines and stuff. That, or they're hyping us up for literally nothing. That's also possible, because wouldn't be the first dead end that fans have sniffed out. So, do I think this toy is worth it? Well, I guess that depends on where your priorities lie. If you were just going to get one version of this mold, I would get the regular one, just for a more definitive take. But if you're an older fan of the movie, and you have the disposable income, it's the same price as the regular Optimus, which is kind of shocking, right? Because usually Amazon exclusives are a little pricier, but no, he's just $50. He's a really cool callback to an iconic scene, and just a neat idea. It's the first time outside of Masterpiece we've actually gotten a toy of dead Optimus Prime. So, yeah, if you got the money to spend and you like something a little more morbid, go for it. It's a fine toy. Earthrise Optimus is just a really good toy. However, if you're a little more selective, again, you'll be fine with just the regular one. Though, of course, that's only how I feel. But I really want to know, I know I say this all the time, but I really want to know, what do you guys think of this? What were your reactions to this guy? Do you want him? Are any of you too traumatized to buy this? I'd love to know in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to give it a like. Let YouTube know that you want to see more stuff like this, though maybe less morbid. If you do want to see more like this, then subscribe and hit the notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. And thank you for joining me for this not all trauma-inducing look at Optimus. And with that said, I will see you guys next time.